In today's video, I'm going to be explaining everything I've learned about silver stacking and what I would do if I had to restart silver stacking right now in 2025. So let's just get straight into it. Just so we're on the same page, I first need to explain what silver stacking actually is. Silver stacking is buying bullion to accumulate ounces of silver, gold, or platinum. So if you're stacking gold, it means you are trying to accumulate as much weight in gold as possible because gold and silver can go up in value over time. So you can use this gold and silver as either a savings account or as an investment. So the first thing that I noticed and that I learned is when I first started silver stacking, I wish I had a better plan. So many times people jump into something and they don't realize how little they prepared or how they don't really have a plan. For my first year and a half of stacking, I was just buying aimlessly. I didn't really know why I was stacking. I was just accumulating whatever looked cool and like whatever I could find, I would just buy. And it caused a lot of problems for me that I'm just noticing right now, or like it just wasn't the best to just buy randomly without a plan. Later, like 2 years into stacking, I finally figured out my why I stack. So I feel like before you start stacking, guys, figure out your why. Figure out the purpose of you stacking. Are you stacking to save up for a car? Are you stacking to beat inflation? Are you stacking to build a collection of cool collectible coins? Are you stacking to pass your wealth down to family later on? But whatever your reason may be, figure out your why before you start. Number two is build up a good foundation. For me, as I said before, I didn't have a plan. So I just bought a bunch of random stuff. But now I have so much different stuff in my stack that nothing really has a place. There's just random coins that like don't have a place in my stack. Like I have a little bit of government coins, aka like from England. I have some silver rounds, like this one right here. I have some silver bars. I have some constitutional silver, but I have way too much stuff. I'm like spread really, really thin. My stack is almost too diversified because I have so much stuff that when I decide to sell my stack, it is going to take a long time because I'm going to have to sell each individual piece, and that'll take a very long time. I can't just sell it in bulk, which is going to be very frustrating and very, very hard for me later down the line. So, guys, build a foundation. Decide what you want to focus on and focus on that and build up a solid foundation, and then you can expand into more stuff. Once you've built up a good foundation and you've built up some knowledge, you can expand into whatever you want. Right now, I don't really have a foundation in my stack, and I'm 3 years into stacking, and my foundation is kind of like crazy. So now I have to backtrack and I have to build a foundation. So I've experienced all of the fun stuff in stacking, all of the rare coins, but now I have to go back to all of the boring stuff that I should have done earlier on, like building a solid foundation. So try not to go into stacking without building a foundation. Once you're comfortable with your foundation, you can move on. Third thing is thinking about selling. How are you going to sell your metals and where are you going to sell them? Because for me, I was just thinking about the first step, which is acquiring as much as I can. But now that I've actually accomplished my goals, I have to think about where I'm going to sell this and how I'm going to sell it. I know that I'm going to sell at an LCS, aka local coin shop. I'm going to try to avoid selling online because I want to get my money right away in cash so I can go buy a car. But depending on your plans and your situation, you need to know how you're going to sell your stuff. Are you going to sell it on eBay? Are you going to sell it to a local coin shop? Are you going to sell it to one of the big bullion dealers? But this is something you need to think about before you start stacking. Another thing that I wish I did when I started stacking was buying more generic stuff. I love buying all of these like very collectible items that have a very high premium and they cost a lot more money to add to your stack. But if I was just buying the simpler stuff, like the 1 ounce silver rounds, silver bars, and the stuff that had a lower premium, I'd have a lot more silver, meaning I would have made a lot more money. Because silver in 2025 has actually been on a bull run. It has been exploding, and I would have had like 10, 20 more ounces of silver if I just bought the simple stuff. So for me, I would say another thing is keeping it simple. If you're just starting, I would say skip copper. Copper is a big waste of money when it comes to stacking because copper rounds cost you $3 and the actual amount of value in an ounce of copper is like 16 cents of actual value. So the premium on copper is absurd. If you want to stack copper, just stack copper pennies or huge amounts of copper. But either way, copper, unless you can buy it in huge bulk or get it for scrap price, is not worth it. So keep that in mind. Don't stack copper if you're just a beginner. When I started stacking back in 2019, I thought gold was expensive. But the truth is, I wish I stacked way more gold because gold has been consistently going up over time, while silver, it's usually really, really flat, and then it has a bull run and it goes up really high. Like silver, it'll stay flat, and then the price will explode, and then it'll stop for like 5 years, stay flat, explode, but gold just steadily climbs. I wish I bought more gold when I just started stacking. Gold is at all-time highs right now, but I would not be surprised if it just continues to climb up past $4,000 or even to $5,000 at some point. I would stack more gold if I had to start over again. With that being said, if you're trying to make a lot of money, silver does outperform gold in bull runs. If they are both going up, most of the time silver will outperform gold because it's super far undervalued compared to gold. If I had to start stacking again, I would buy more constitutional silver or older silver, aka like old US silver from 1964 and before. This is a peace dollar from the year 1934. These coins used to cost $20 and they now cost $30. But the thing with coins before 1964 is they are made out of 90% silver. These used to be the money that Americans used before we used paper money. And they always hold value because of the history behind them. And they also go up in price because of silver and gold going up in price. So they have two stores of value. They have numismatic value, which is the value of the collectible, but then they also have the value of the silver that it contains. I would have a lot more of these if I realized how good they were to buy at the beginning of my stacking journey. I would collect any constitutional silver. Constitutional silver ebbs and flows. If silver prices are high, the premiums on constitutional silver are super duper low because it's the price of silver itself is high. And so right now, because silver is at an all-time high almost, constitutional silver, you can buy it under spot price. So right now is a good time to buy constitutional silver. But when silver prices are low, the premiums on constitutional silver get super, super high. So I would just stack more constitutional silver. It's a great thing, and if you're building a foundation for your silver stack, it is amazing because constitutional silver is fractional. You can trade and barter it if you need to, but it also has that historical value. So stack more constitutional. Another thing I learned is if you want to stack a lot of weight, buy something a little less desirable. It may not be the most popular thing, but you can get a lot of weight. I've been stacking a lot of 80% Canadian silver. It's not that popular, and you can get it at spot price most of the time. And so I get a lot of weight for cheap because I'm not paying high premiums. So if you find something that's cool and it's a little less desirable, you can buy a lot of it, and as silver prices go up, you'll make more money and you'll have more weight in your stack. The one thing to keep in mind if you buy less desirable stuff is sometimes it is harder to sell. So on the less desirable stuff, you'll have to hold it for a longer period of time so that you can make your money back because people won't pay any premium on it. If you're not paying a premium to buy it, people do not pay a premium to when you sell it. The last thing I learned is don't be afraid to ask stupid questions and connect with our community. Because here on YouTube and social media, there are a lot of stackers who are more than welcome to helping you out. They want to help you out. They want to make stacking easier for you. So don't be afraid to comment on people's videos, any questions you have, or don't be afraid to ask coin shop owners when you're at a coin shop stupid questions that sound stupid, that maybe are like beginner questions. Feel free to ask every question because that is the best way to learn, is by asking questions. When I was a beginner, I was scared to ask questions and I was scared to talk to other people about it. So yeah, that is one of my best tips, is ask questions and become versed in the topic. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like, hit that subscribe button, and share this video with all of your friends so that more people can learn about silver stacking and finance. Also, if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. I will be happy to answer them. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the next video. This is where I disappear.